Now we'll be doing closing statements. We'll be reversing the order from the opening statements just to mix it up a little bit right at the very end. So we'll be starting with Mr. Armstrong. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I want to first of all congratulate the group that put this event on. You know, this is a group of young people who haven't been around very long. In fact, I think since Christmas they've had their first meeting. And to come as far as having an all-candidates debate in a federal election shows the commitment they have made to moving our community forward, and I congratulate them on that, as well as the community college for hosting us today. It's been an interesting evening, and being part of this debate has been quite exciting for me. And as a conservative candidate in this campaign, I have and continue to lead a positive, proactive campaign. But there's also more to be done in this riding. Now, as we've seen today, the global economy is fragile. It's not time to change direction and risk the very nature of our economic recovery. As your member of Parliament, I will continue to work with our municipalities and our provincial counterparts to make sure we work together, unified with the goal of providing new jobs, high-paying jobs, and jobs that will bring young families and allow them to settle here so that we can continue to provide the funds necessary to provide our social programs and take care of our aging demographic. As your member of Parliament in the last couple of years, I think I've worked very diligently in delivering some of the things that have been needed to get us out of this terrible, terrible recession. I ask for your support. Again, I wish to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Your commitment to the democratic process is very valuable, and I encourage you all to vote. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Mr. Blanche?
It's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak tonight, and I echo Scott's comments, thanking the group for putting this on. It seems important to mention my vision a bit, and the source of my vision is a funny thing, but it probably comes back. It's best symbolized by a children's book called Uno's Garden. And in that garden, in that book, you have a community that's gone too far, and they've let go of any relationship with nature. And then the community recognizes that. They recognize they're in a place of crisis, which is where I feel we are today. And they bring it back. And throughout the book, you see the disappearance of species, and then you see the reappearance of species. So my vision for us is to change direction and start to protect the environment and protect our communities. And they go so hand in hand. We know that to address climate change, we have to focus on our local communities. So we focus on our local communities. We focus on local business. We focus on farmers markets and family farms. We make sure we don't have hydrofracturing that will pollute our water. We make sure our children have water to drink, and their children, and their children. And the same with the air. 2 in 10 children today have asthma, and it's because of polluted air. We can make these changes. This is the point where we decide. So I'm asking you to take leadership for the next generation and vote green on May 2nd. It's a vote for Uno's Garden. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Robinson?
Thank you for the opportunity for being here this evening, and it's very difficult to follow Uno's Garden. I wish I had something quite as elegant to say, and I'm not able to come up with something on the spur of the moment. However, what I would really like to come out of this evening's meeting is, and I don't think I expressed the party's platform as well as I'd like to, I would implore you to go to the website, and as everybody's websites, and actually check out who it is that you actually are most connected with. I would like it to be the NDP. If it's not, again, the important message is for you to get out and to vote and understand that your voice is heard. As Jason mentioned, it is important for those of us who are not sitting in power. We do receive some funds for every vote, so if you want your party to be viable, you need to go out and support them. And to remind you that it is maybe not the best democratic process that there is available in the world, but we do have it, and there are people in the world who are willing to lay down their life so that they can have the privilege to cast their ballot. The other thing that I would also like you to take away tonight. From my experience, you have to make your own choice who it is. This riding tends to vote in a traditional pattern, and I would like you to take a look at what it is your value is. Is it the same as the traditional, or is it something different? And it's you that gets to make that decision. It's not your mother or father or whatever relative has influenced your voting pattern. So again, check out the NDP website, and I would like to have your vote as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Burrows?
Well, thank you. Thank the organizers and the front of house for this evening's program. It's been a great opportunity to answer questions on behalf of the people in the constituency. As I've been getting involved in things over the last couple of weeks, a favorite quote of mine keeps coming back to me over and over again. And many of you are likely familiar with Einstein's definition for insanity. And it's doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. Well, I look at that very quickly from two fronts. I think if we look at our constituency, the government policies, whether they be in agriculture, small business, for the people that are suffering hardships at home, the policies have been the same thing over and over again, and we need to start to look at something different. And I feel that the Liberal platform is different from what we had in the past. It is has policies that look at the needs of individuals. But I also see this insanity, and it's probably the best place to describe it as insanity, in the whole political process. I wish question period in the House of Commons, or the debates that all our leaders, except I realize you were not involved in it, Jim, all the leaders were involved in a couple of weeks ago, would have the civility that was put here tonight. I wish those had the opportunity to talk about what Jason talked about, the vision. I wish you people had had the opportunity in those debates to hear Michael Ignatieff talk about his vision for Canada, and I'm sure the other leaders have similar visions.
He had much more opportunity than Elizabeth May.
We do not get that opportunity, you as voters do not get that opportunity to hear what you need to hear. And somehow, over the next while, we have to start to change that. That can happen certainly from within, but it's going to take pressure from you people. And I encourage you to vote, get out and vote, but to keep putting enough pressure on your members of Parliament and hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Natchik?
Thank you. Again, I want to thank the organizers for this evening. It's not that often that we get the opportunity for Canadians to hear the CHP platform, so I just wanted to highlight a few of the platforms on my closing this evening. I did mention the our CHP Canada's Family Care Allowance of $1,000 per month that will assist those parents who choose to care for their own children in their own homes, not daycare centers. This allowance will also apply in the case where an immediate family member must leave the workplace in order to be the primary caregiver for an aging parent or a disabled family member. Also, CHP Canada will enshrine protection for the unborn child. Our Prime Minister says in order to reduce abortions in Canada that you have to change the hearts of Canadians, not the laws. The CHP believes you have to do both. You have to change the hearts of Canadians and you have to have a law. In healthcare, we will encourage a competitive environment for healthcare service providers, and we have an excellent plan to attract more rural doctors to Nova Scotia and the rest of Canada. For business and the economy, we'll implement zero-deficit legislation, reduce red tape for businesses, and end corporate welfare. CHP Canada will phase out personal income tax, replace it with a fair tax system that will benefit families, small business, and corporations. For immigration, that wasn't mentioned tonight, Canada's immigration and refugee system is broken. Canadians don't know it. The experts are telling us that it is. It's costing Canadians billions every year in false claims. The CHP Canada will ensure our borders are secure. Islamic terrorism and immigration are global threats, and for some, immigration is being used to try to impose Sharia law in Canada. We will not stand for that. So I encourage everyone to check out our website, chp.ca or electjim.ca, to get all the details on our platform and be informed. On May the 2nd, you have an opportunity to vote for CHP in Jim Natchik. Thank you.
I want to thank the candidates first and foremost for attending our debate. It was a really good forum. Again, you were all terrific, and civility did reign, and I do appreciate that. I also want to put a big thank you to the community college and Alliant for helping us put this on. Without them, it would probably be my laptop pointed at each of you, and I don't think that would have done as well. But I think my biggest thank you is going to go out to our group and to everyone that's watching. I think without you supporting us, this is a great opportunity for us to, use your questions to meet the candidates and to ask them questions. And if your questions didn't get answered tonight, I ask you to take them to the candidates, to each of their campaigns. They're all on email, Twitter, the internet. You can get in touch with them and have your questions answered. But most importantly, I hope that each of you take tonight as an opportunity to learn what you needed to and to make an educated vote, and most importantly, make sure that on May 2nd you do get out and vote. So with that, again, I want to thank the candidates again, and everyone have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said you've got something deep inside of you. A wind chime voice sounds, sway of your hips round rings true.